first time on the Warriors Den.
Oh, testing
William.
grounds. Here we go, man. Here we go.
Welcome to the Den, William.
Sorry? What?
I just said welcome to the
Oh,
Den.
sorry. Oh, thank you.
I
so
did not enunciate. The Idaho came out, and it was just like, oh, no, man.
yeah, thank
So
you to having
basically
me.
everyone in Idaho sounds like Boomhauer.
That's the thing.
yeah.
That works. That's how it works. That's good.
Yeah. So, we're talking about testing grounds, and let's just kick it off, JC.
Let's go.
Yeah. Well, first I want to welcome William.
Oh, what's up, William?
Den. First
Yeah.
time we
What's
see
good,
him
bro?
around. Joined the team not that long ago, like 3 months ago.
Yeah, like 3
But
months
you've
ago.
been
now.
playing
Yeah, absolutely.
forever, right? So you've been playing for Honor since the beginning.
Yeah,
of time.
pretty much since the launch, and
Yeah.
now being on the other part of the screen as a dev, that's a pretty good feeling, you know.
Fresh out of school.
Yeah,
Shut up.
the note on our cheat sheet says just after finishing school, but I wasn't sure is that after finishing school or after finishing school.
I don't think he went to finish.
Never.
So
No, but let's get into testing grounds
Yeah.
details. So what can players expect?
I'm not cut out to be a dev,
from the
y'all.
TG, because
Yeah.
we've got the man who never skips leg day,
Yeah.
right?
Mr. Thighs.
Yeah.
Highlander, right?
Oh, I
So
told
I'm
you.
super
I
happy.
told you.
We've been
He's
wanting to
back.
Highlander for a while.
I'm
We've
back.
been wanting to, like,
I'm
first have
back.
Highlander, and the testing
I'm
grounds and Highlander
back.
Rework. So we've taken an approach here with Highlander, which is essentially we want to have the hero to just make the hero better in general. It's a really difficult to play hero. He's like kind of tricky. There's a lot of like weird things that can happen. So we focused on not really removing much. Actually, I think there's one thing that's been removed. Everything else is if you played Highlander before,
here we go.
you can play Highlander now, except you have better tools. So that's great.
Nice.
That's what I like to see in a rework as well.
500
I think
damage
that's what,
heavies.
players said
80
when
damage,
discussing
400
Highlander
MS
as a
offensive lights.
potential. They're just like, I hope they don't change them too much.
Yeah, right. So
Screw
it
it.
doesn't change too much.
200 MS lights.
That's great.
Some
80
TLC.
damage.
Yeah, a lot of TLC. Yeah. All right, so let's get started.
The
Okay,
kick guarantees
so,
death.
First off,
Let's go.
The very, very biggest change we've done, and I think people should be psyched about this, is that whenever you feint an attack now, every single time you feint an attack, if you hold the heavy button, you will fast flow into offensive stance. Right?
Excuse
So
me?
How does this work?
Pardon
I
me?
throw a heavy, feint, hold heavy, straight into offensive stance, right? So this is great because normally the only way you could really on live right now, like go into offensive stance, realistically, is either like you got
Backlight.
lucky to dodge attack, you hold it or whatever, or you backstep light into offensive stance. Those are the two ways that kind of made it safe. But now with this, you're showing an indicator. So because you're showing an indicator, your opponent doesn't really know what you're going to do. It makes it a lot easier to go into offensive.
Man, I'm
stance. That's a
GBing you.
really,
I don't care,
really
bro.
big
I don't
change
care,
here.
bro.
I'm
I'm GBing you right through that. I don't care.
Every single feint that you can perform with Highlander.
Every feint.
Every single feint.
You can just
whoop. Yeah, we've added a couple of feints here and there.
Oh.
Nice. Right? So we'll talk about this as
There
well.
are more feints.
There's more feints. The next thing I want to talk about quickly, which is a problem with the hero right now, is backstep lights. Right now, on live, if you do this, you
You're-
backstep quite a bit. You can
yeah.
kind of option select a lot of attacks. We don't like that. It's not a good thing. So what we've done is that the version that
Thank you
goes
for the
with
gift,
backstep, you
Lobster.
backstep a little bit less. So it kind of removes that option. Like, right, if you're really close,
Good.
right, and I'm backstepping,
Parry.
I still hit my opponent. So
Yeah.
you can't just go and try to option
Parry.
select stuff out of it.
Smash,
Yeah, and just
smash.
smash
Yeah.
out of it and get out of range
Yeah.
and stuff. And so
It's like one of the few OSs to survive the
yeah, that's
purge.
it, right? So,
Thank you for
that's
another
the problem
gifted
with, like,
lobster.
whenever we have like we have superior blocks on attacks and we can backstep them, it kind of creates problems there. The other thing we've done is a crushing counter version. So if you want to throw me a top heavy, it now deals 18 damage instead of 20. So again, we've lowered the damage curve a little bit here because again that was a bit too strong. So that kind of works there.
Alright.
The other thing we've done in defensive stance is a defensive form rather is the chain lights no longer have uninterruptible stance.
Okay.
This is a health issue, right?
Okay.
Players could just match this, have armor quite often.
For days.
Yeah, and it was like it's a bit too strong. So removing it there makes a lot of sense. You still have it off of your heavy finishes, right? So, and off of your heavy openers, so you can still trade and do stuff
Yeah,
with Highlander. It's just not off of the
Yeah,
flights.
there's still a lot of flashing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's still a lot of flash.
Yeah.
Yo, Lobster with
Flash.
another
The
gift.
other thing that we've done that's
Appreciate
kind of
you.
cool is we've also adjusted the speed of Highlander's heavy openers.
Oh.
So, top heavy opener right now. See, so if you're on live right now and you land a guard break, realistically, all you can do is zone attack to hit people.
Right. So now you're getting guaranteed
More,
heavy.
my friend.
Okay.
You can do a top heavy and it lands because it's now 800 MS, right?
That's gonna be fun. Finally.
If I do like a side, for example, it's blockable because they're now 9. But what happens when they're 9 is Will can do a dodge attack here, and I get a free heavy off of a side heavy now that are
Get
900.
shreked.
Beforehand, all you could do after a light parry is hold heavy, release it. Timing was rough, like the input comfort.
It wasn't
was not
that bad.
super
It
there.
wasn't
You
that
can still
bad.
do it if you want, but
It's
we
one
really
less
wanted
damage,
to give
though.
the hero like a much better way of getting into those parry punishes and not be super penalized about all of these things. That works really, really great. We've also adjusted damage in consequence. So top is 24, sides are 27, like expected for those speeds. So that works out really, really well. Next, we have zone attack from offensive form. So first up, first hit is feintable. You couldn't feint it before, now you can.
Oh, dip.
Did he say zone from offensive
That's
stance?
huge.
Because now you can also, you want to know what I'm talking about? Feinting, feint into offensive stance.
Oh,
You can do it a bit quicker there, but yeah.
I see what you did there.
But that works there. The first hit also now gains uninterruptible stance at 500 MS. So that's great. So you get armor really, really quickly. And then the second and third hit also gain uninterruptible stance.
I
at
think he
100
meant
MS. So
zone
you get
into
armor here,
offensive.
Armor here, armor here. You want to throw that in minions when a bunch of people are around you? Go ahead. You're not going to get peeled. So that's great.
Nice.
But
All right,
we're
cool.
like, yeah, this is pretty cool, you know, but how can we make this even better? Right? What do you think we could do?
I mean, was it faster?
I mean,
It's not
make it
necessarily
orange. That's
faster,
how you make it better. Make
now
it orange.
change to heavy finishes.
Oh, dip.
That also
Yeah,
have
I
armor,
was way off.
right?
I was
You were,
way
you
off.
were way
I was
off.
distracted by the flash.
Yeah, but that's okay. Because now the other cool thing is that the heavy
blinded.
finishers also chain into zone attack. So if you want to be
Ex-
a cool spinner, you can now go zone, do heavy, do zone.
All right, so
Heavy.
the age of man.
That minion
is
clear is gonna go
over.
crazy.
The age of the thigh copter is here.
Exactly.
That
Right.
that
But
minion
part
clear
of
is going to
this
go crazy.
We really
by
want
the
to
way.
have Highlander in this form to be really, really defensive, but be able to defend himself in group fights, be amazing in the minion lane because you can just spin through the.
Yeah.
and
No,
kill everything.
Scotsman goes.
Exactly. So that's really.
I'm gonna
really
be
good
target
there.
swapping
And
the hell
the
out
last
of that.
change that we're adding is the top, like the front dodge heavy, the top version of it.
Or do you have to
Now
let
you
all
can
three
feint,
zones go? You
which
probably
you couldn't
do.
Before, so now you can probably feint,
Wait, what?
hold heavy, straight into offensive stance as well.
Didn't we already
which
ha-
is
wait.
Really, really good there. Again,
Didn't we already have that?
a lot of those little changes. It's a lot of it kind of feels almost like quality of life, but it really,
Yeah.
really helps Highlander in those cases. Now we have offensive form, right? So the main issue with offensive
Yeah, I thought we already
form
had that.
is kick.
Didn't we already have that?
Because kick right now is not necessarily like it's not fast, it's not super slow either, but it kind of works. The problem is that it's reactable, and then if I'm playing against, say, a Highlander here, right, and I'm gonna do kick into caber toss, kind of works. The idea.
Whoa,
is
whoa,
that
they changed that. They
the
changed
way
it.
that
They
this
whoa.
was intended was I'm gonna do kick into caber
Look how
toss,
fast he throws.
catch
Like,
dodge
look.
or catch
He
people
throws them
dodging,
faster.
actually. But because everybody has dodge attacks right now, like if you can try to dodge attack it when I do it,
Yeah, you just
clearly it's not gonna work.
Right, you get beat.
So how do we fix this? Well,
You can feint the
now-
grab now.
Go back to defensive stance. I'm sorry. Kick is now feintable.
Oh my God!
Not only is it feintable, but if you're holding, because you're currently holding heavy, right? So holding heavy, you stay in offensive stance, which is great because I can also throw my offensive heavies, feint them, stay in offensive stance.
I cannot wait to go back and read chat.
This
Yeah.
is, this is like amazing.
Oh yeah!
Uh,
Oh yeah! Y'all
The
are
other thing that we've
toast.
also
Oh
done,
oh yeah! Y'all are
is,
toast.
all of his
Do it
side
again,
dodge-
fan it again.
all
I
of
wanna
his
see
dodge attacks,
from his
right, in
perspective.
Defensive stance are now caber toss, which is also a little bit faster. You've known
Yeah,
if you've
faster.
seen what
Throw
happened
Oh,
it to the
before.
ground.
You grab them. Usually, like, it used to take a bit more time. You grab them, throw them. It would take a bit longer. You still get your unblockable heavy off of it, like usual. But you have it off of this, right? So now it's crazy because when you're in offensive stance, you get even more crazy potential damage with a lot of your allies by throwing somebody to the floor. But that's good. The other thing that's interesting here is that if Will kind of rolls away from my feintable kick, into it, and I kick and just roll away from it, I can front dodge and grab it, right? So there is now no escaping the kick. Which is the thighs, right? So,
Wow,
Yeah.
that
yeah,
is.
so that works really, really well there.
Oh, I can already
It's
see the
amazing. Honestly,
tears.
it's
I can
super cool.
already
But at
taste
same
the
time,
tears,
if you want,
boys.
like I said before, right? You want to soft feint into caber toss? You can. We didn't remove it. You want to go straight to caber toss on neutral? You can. We didn't remove it, right? So all of these things are still in. They're not necessarily the most optimal things.
What about
but
offensive
we wanted
light?
to make sure that if you played Highlander before, you can still play Highlander. You
Any
just have
changes?
new things that work better.
Okay, so you don't
Because
have to,
that
like,
that looks
you know, get the
scary. Oh
500
my
pound
god, that
brain
looks
and
so
relearn
scary.
the
Exactly, right? That's great.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh my
like for the
God.
for the heavies in offensive stance, we've lowered their damage and their stamina cost. So now they deal 26. Usually they'll 30.
Wow, better
30 off
stamina
the top
on
of my head
Highlander
was always a
now.
bit crazy, but yeah, 12 stamina instead of 24. So you can actually now stay in offensive stance quite a bit longer. Have a lot more stuff there, so that's really, really, really good.
50% off all stamina
Yeah.
costs. Only in
No, that's what it is,
Heathmore.
right? There's some changes we've done to like dodges. I'm not gonna go too much into it. We have a blog post that kind of details all of those things.
Can you still wave dash?
Essentially, like you can flow back into the offensive stance a little bit quicker from when you're doing, and you also move a little bit further out when you're dodging from when you're on live. So that's good.
He overall just looks a lot more fluid.
Yeah,
Like with these little.
If you like
tweaks.
switch guards
it
while
feels
you
really
dodge,
good.
can you still wave dash?
And then just the last thing that I want to go into. So we've
Or did they take that
every
out?
single
I
instance
haven't
of
played
stamina
Highlander in a
damage
while.
and stamina pause. Like what we've done with stuff. Again, like it doesn't really fit anything here. Like I said before, when we have Lawbringer, it's the same kind of logic there. You can also no longer. So right now, if you're on live, right, if you're in offensive form and you hold guard break, you can just do kick.
Oh, right,
kick
it'll just
infinite, right?
chain.
So now we've kind of fixed this, so you have to tap it, and then if you're just holding it, it's not just gonna happen infinitely, right?
Nice. So you're not gonna
Because
get
that, yeah, and-
caught on the startup of the next one.
exactly. And so this might look a bit weird, like why did we remove this? It's just because it can create like bad inputs.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no point in having those bad inputs. So if we can clean them up, that's great. It works.
I think they took some of the complexity
Also,
out.
the other thing is that like exiting offensive stance used the cost of stamina. Now it costs 6. So again, better stamina management for Highlander. Great overall. And then the final piece of this cute little puzzle is Highlander had the worst walking and running speed in the
Yeah.
entire
I feel
game,
like they took a little
even
bit of
though,
the
you know, we
complexity out of the
we got a lot
character,
big
Chad.
thighs. So right now, we've actually sped it up to be equal to the second slowest thing, which I think is Kenzo. So he runs at about the same speed as Kenzo actually. So with this, you can actually rotate to your rotation a lot better, reach points in a much more natural way.
I feel like his defensive heavies.
rotation.
Right, and you had to pick rush every single time, otherwise
Yeah.
you couldn't really get to where you wanted to go.
I don't know,
so
man.
we really like sped that up, make sure that at least like that's a bit more playable. You can get to where you want to go, and that works.
Hey, and his dedication to
Didn't
light
his
day
defensive heavies used to
finally
do
paid
more
off.
damage
Exactly,
than that?
right? So that's great. So that's it for Highlander. Like it's a
Like,
lot of changes.
The top
Sometimes
heavy,
it
I
doesn't
mean.
look like too much, right? But we've really put a lot of care into making sure that, like I said, if you've played them before, you can
How much
still
is
play
how
Highlander,
much did the top
just
heavy used to do? It doesn't do that much no
a
more.
lot more, and you have easier access to the tools you want to have. You can weave in and out of defensive and offensive form a lot more effectively. That works super well.
Yeah,
We're
30.
really excited. We hope like players are gonna like it. We're super happy about it, so that should be good.
Yeah.
And yeah,
No,
that's
I mean, all the tentative changes seem like they're kind of in line with what players
Because
were asking, which was like, we want
there's
some
some-
tweaks.
Yeah, right
we don't
there.
wanna-
Some of
don't
that
wanna-
is
we don't wanna change the
24 now.
identity of the hero,
Exactly.
or,
They took
like,
out
the
6 from
feel
that.
of playing them. So,
Because
I'm,
you know
I'm
the
excited
good
to get
Highlanders,
hands
they
on
will
Highlander because
optimize you. They'll
he always felt
they will
like
figure out how to
chunky.
land
Yeah.
a kick,
Yeah.
wall
Swapping out
splash
cardboard
you,
cutouts.
Constantly.
Yeah.
cancel
but
into
yeah, it's
defensive
all more
stance,
fluid.
throw the top
Yeah,
heavy,
now
get back
it's just-
into
and those are
offensive,
kind of
and
more
then
the
try to
heroes
and
that
try to
I
bait
like
you
to
into a
play.
dot
It's just
attack,
like,
crushing
let me
counter,
get
get
in
back
and
in offense, and
flow.
kick you back
Yeah.
into the wall. Top heavy,
Well,
like oh,
Yeah,
that's the
for
stuff.
testing grounds.
You know what I'm
Thanks, William,
saying?
for being
A
The-
punching
my
bag?
bad.
bag. Yeah, that's great.
Absolutely.
punching bag on the stream and off.
Yeah.
No, just
And then they'll,
Not
and then
off,
they'll
not
get you
off.
with
Not
that
off.
GP,
Not off.
right?
No,
They'll
no,
bait
no.
you, get the GP, throw you to
thank
the wall,
both
top
so much
heavy.
for joining me on the stream. And for those of you home, we'll be
I don't
right
know,
back
man.
with Nolan. To
I like
you
it
know,
though. It's
to
more accessible for
recap
sure.
everything, and
For
we've got
sure.
some
Is he
community,
better?
corners.
Yeah, I think
Finally
he is
getting rid
better.
of me.
Yeah.
Just
You
for the
can-
simple
you-
fact
you
that
can go like bask in the
You can
glory
actually
of-
like
of
you could
chat's
really mix up
adoration.
with the
That's
kick
good.
against
I
certain
love
heroes
that.
that had dot
But
attacks that
stick
could
around.
beat
We'll be
it.
right back after this transition.
So it's just Highlander and testing grounds, boys. Just Highlander. So W stream though. W stream.